Hello and welcome everybody to this week's edition of Three Men and a Movie. So I just got back from seeing Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and first of all I want to send a shout out to dysfunctional.com or dysfunctional channel, which you can find on YouTube, for providing the tickets for us. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it, and actually the movie was really good, so I'm going to start off by saying pay for it. I must admit, Jurassic World and Jurassic Park is not necessarily my cup of tea. I don't really like monster movies and big epic disaster films like that, but this one actually paid off. There were some notable characters that I really enjoyed. I don't want to screw up any of the names, so I'm gonna look at IMDb here. Justice Smith played a character named Franklin Webb, who was supposed to be a web designer and systems analyst and something like that, like kind of a nerdy kid, and he was cast so well. Every time he screams and every time he gets scared because something startles him, you really feel it through his character, and it actually works. It makes the audience also get, scared and frightened, and it works well with the suspense. The film was cut up into 3 acts. Like most, action films and epic films are cut into 3 acts. The first one had a little bit of exposition where they take you back and sort of remind you and refresh you of everything that happened in the past Jurassic World. And they're on a mission to save all of the dinosaurs. And there's sort of a dilemma here, whether we let the dinosaurs sort of, fall into the hands of fate on the island that they're in, or do we rescue them now knowing that they're a species that exists in our world? So that there's a debate in the first act about that. The second act, though, is when we actually extract the dinosaurs and bring them to the city, or bring them to the mainland, where they sort of, as is the usual Jurassic fashion, they break out, they break loose, and they wreak havoc on anyone and anything that stands in their way. So this film is not any different than the other films in that sense. Although I will say that out of all of the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies that I've seen, this one packs the most punch and the most bang for your buck than any of the other Jurassic films in the past. The action is really intense. The suspense is quite nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat suspense. And from what I understand, I saw an interview with Chris Pratt on Jimmy Fallon's show a few nights ago, and Chris Pratt himself sort of told the audience and made us privy to the fact that the director is a director that works real well with like haunted mansion and haunted house type of films, where there's ghosts involved and things like that. So it's actually pretty scary. Even though we've seen dinosaurs and we know that they don't exist in our world and all of that, they still sort of play with our head, and psychologically they do have an effect on us as the audience. So you'll get that kind of thrill as well. The other thing is that there's quite a bit of nods to the old Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films, where this film, if I were to sum it up, it's actually a summation and a connection between Jurassic Park 1 and Jurassic Park 2. And there's a lot of scenes, one in particular, where they're in a lab, I believe, or sort of a makeshift museum where there's bones and things like that, and obviously one of the dinosaurs breaks in there and is chasing down the main characters of the film, and they're hiding behind like a cabinet type of thing, and the dinosaur sort of hovering over there, and they have to be really quiet. That's classic part 1 stuff that we really loved, where the kid is quiet and doesn't want to cry and make too much noise so that the dinosaur doesn't attack. Another part is when one of those dinosaurs sort of taps its, I guess we'll call it claw or finger or whatever you want to call it. I'm not too big on the science aspect of the films, but that was quite exciting too, and it was nice to see that so many years have passed by and we still remember that, and we remember it fondly, being that Jurassic Park was one of the first, if not the first, films of its kind. that really brought that kind of technology and CGI to the forefront, where now we're sort of used to it and desensitized to it. But this film actually does a really good job of using all of those tools and all of the technology available to really pack that punch and really deliver the anxiety and the suspense that we would expect from a film like this. So again, pay for it. You get my full-on recommendation. And once again, thank you very much to Dysfunctional.com and Dysfunctional channel on YouTube for hooking us up with these tickets. Thanks a lot. This has been another episode of 3 Men and a Movie.